Well, welcome once again, everybody, to Game of Thrones for Spin Rack. We're talking about episode 2 of Game of Thrones, and all I got to say is it was hot! So, I'm here on the line with my boy, Cal. Cal, give some shout-out to the peeps.
What's going on, everybody? Here in the early morning.
Yeah, so we are going to be doing, let's just get straight to the stuff. Let's just get the Arya stuff out so we can save the sea battle for the end. So, Arya and Hot Pie. So Arya's has left basically those soldiers she had in the first episode, and she's heading towards King Lang to do what? Kill Cersei. But in going down there, she encounters a character that she met back in, was it season 1? Cal? Hot Pie.
Yeah, it's like season 1, season 2. We haven't seen him in a while.
And basically, he's talking to her about making pies, that you got to use butter. And Arya basically says, yeah, I've been making pies. Remember she made the Frey pie? Mm-hmm. When she served Walter Frey last season, his son? Ew, disgusting, bro. I don't know why they even bring those things up. But he gives her, I've been wondering this for the longest. Why the hell is she heading south? Doesn't she know what's going on? But what does Hot Pie do? Cal?
I have no idea. What does Hot Pie do?
He informs her that her brother, John, that she thought the Boltons were still in charge.
Oh, man, that's the character's name. I thought you meant literally, what does Hot Pie do? Okay.
Yeah, that's the character's name. It's the heavyset guy who, at the restaurant that she hooks up with, the guy from season 1 and 2. Yeah, Hot Pie.
Yeah,
so,
he tells her, hey, your family's alive.
Which is wild. I figured as he's traveling, she called the phrase. I guess she must be taking back roads or something like that. But she informs her that, basically Jon Snow is the king of the North. I think that's all he informs her, right? He doesn't tell her about Sansa or anybody else.
No, he just says Jon. He said, he's your brother, right?
Yeah. So I found that interesting. So I said, but then she had a dilemma. Should she continue with her vengeance against Cersei, or does she go back and meet her brother, go back to Winterfell?
That's the dilemma. I remember her going back. We see her in the cold, so she's definitely heading north, and she has that encounter with her wolf that decides, now I'm too busy running around here being free. I'm not going anywhere with you.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting with Nymeria. Yeah, that was, can you see the size of the friggin' wolf?
Yep.
That damn thing is huge. Friggin' humongous, the dire wolf.
Is that the last living wolf?
No, Snow is still supposed to still be alive. John's, but they never show him. I guess they put all the money for CGI on
the White Walkers.
The White Walkers and the dragons. Dragons outsell wolves all the time. You can see that clearly. But yeah, we haven't seen Snow in a long time, have we?
No, we haven't. I can't keep track of. Well, between all the human characters, the wolf characters it gets hard to keep track of those two. But that was a good sequence for Arya because I like the fact that it wasn't even a debate. Your family's alive, and she's on this mission of revenge to avenge her family. Wait a minute, I have family living? I don't think it probably never even crossed her mind to inquire, is anybody still alive? She probably just assumed everybody was dead. That, Cersei got to everyone. So that's how that rolled out. But yeah, she'll go and we'll see what the meeting is. Well, she's going to be in for a great meeting because she'll meet Sansa, but Jon won't be there, as Jon has decided he needs to go and meet with the mother of dragons to try to form an alliance, which, of course, that's the other thing I'm not understanding. Jon's kingship right now has been nothing but people questioning every other thing that he does. At some point, and I would hate for him to have to do this, but he does it to a certain extent. He's like, look, you guys chose me as your king. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. And now that I'm king, you guys are trying to tell me what to do. You can't do that. I'm the king. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to take care of this. And Sansa's, oh, no, you can't do it. You can't do it. He's like, well, I'm going to leave you in my stead as king. She's like, huh, wait, what? I'm going to have power? I'm going to have power? And she shut up.
You saw a twinkle in Littlefinger's eye when you heard that, like, interesting development. Yeah, there must always be
He needs to die. No, Littlefinger needs to die, because he's the reason all this happened. He started all of this.
Yeah, he did. But, I've been feeling Littlefinger lately. He's just been, like, treading water. We know he's planning, but, nothing's coming to fruition. And it's kind of a little disappointing compared to the guy who helped to start the War of the Five Kings, the guy who helped to kill Jon Arryn, the guy who, he's been in every major development. And and yet you don't see him right now. It's like there's nothing happening with him. He's just standing there, leaning against the wall,
There's
looking.
Nothing to do. Something's gonna happen, and then they'll give him the credit for it. Oh, this was Littlefinger. They'll do some Duet Machina thing with him later on. But this, like I said with some of the other characters, his story has pretty much been told. There's only 2 more things for Littlefinger to accomplish, and we'll see if he actually gets there. But for the most part, his story has been told. I hate saying it. It sounds like a skipping record, but at the end of the day, there's only 4 or 5 characters who still have events that need to be resolved. Everyone else, we pretty much know where they're going to end up at the end of the day. So, Daenerys is there, and we get to see Daenerys and
her crew.
Her translator, who finally consummates the love that she has with the unsullied captain. What was it, Grey Worm? Yeah, what the hell was that, man? What was that? The dude, what is it? The dude he's a eunuch. On the phone when it's that. They didn't just take, they took everything. They took the Frankenbean. Okay? So I'm trying to understand, what was that scene right over there? What is with this sealess sex that's going on? This show was countermanded. Remember the first season? Okay? Remember the raw dogs? These dudes were going over there, finding nice, robust, well-formed women, knocking them out. Guys are like, yeah, this is great. Now what are we getting? Okay, we're getting all this, this is like porn for women. What's going on? Explain it to me, Big Business. What happened?
Dude, I saw the scene and I moved on. So I left that alone for other people to
I refuse to let you move on from this. What exactly happened over there?
Dude, like I said, I moved on. If there's one scene to me that's not moving anything forward was that, and I think we just need to continue forward. I think Daenerys, basically, I like the fact that she's questioning those around her. Particularly, she questioned Varys. Like, yo, didn't you work for my father? Didn't you work for Robert? And now you're working for me? Basically, how can I trust you, bro?
It's such a waste of time for all of that, because at the end of the day, we know she's not going to get rid of him. She's not getting rid of him. So
right, but those are questions to pose.
You're putting his feet to the fire, but it's a waste of time. We could have done other stuff with that time. You could have summarized that. Look, I know you. You seem to have a long history of picking winners. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the winner. And if you think differently, I'm going to kill you. And then he would have done that little smile of his, yes, mother of dragons, and we move on. That's it. That was a long scene for nothing.
I thought it was an excellent scene. I thought it helped to frame basically both Daenerys and Varys, and also put the rest of the council on notice. Like, yo, yeah, I'm here and I'm listening to you. I'm here listening to you guys. But
anything new about them that we didn't know already. Okay, it doesn't show us anything new about them. It's just a scene. It's a nice scene. It's a cool scene, but it doesn't develop anything further. And that's what happens when you can't write story, that you can only write character. Because now we need story moments to happen. The characters are already developed. There's nothing else for them. If people want to go over, we can see how her character develops. So her character is fully developed. She is queen. Cool. Now what is she going to do as queen? That was just a bunch of talk. And when the story starts getting into a bunch of people literally standing around talking, there's nothing more to be said.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. But
because
what do you think about what do you think about the planning? Basically, I like the fact that they said in the planning that that Cersei is basically going to say, here's a foreign army. Dothraki hordes are going to come into and Tyrion called it. He's going to say these are foreign armies coming to attack and savage your land. Basically you have to support me. So Tyrion's plan is, hey, instead of using the Dothraki or the Unsullied, we're going to use the Dornishmen and Highgarden to surround King's Landing to slowly bring them down. I thought that was an excellent plan, because then you only use it.
It's a waste of time because we know it's not going to happen. If you've been watching,
you have to play it out. I mean, if you're using a lot.
How could you have been watching Game of Thrones for so many seasons and get lulled into that trap? What is the thing that this show loves to do? It loves to stake this particular claim. It loves to make this plan and then flip it on its ear. So you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't see that coming. After Ned Stark got killed, no one should be fooled by anything like this ever again. Ever. Okay? No one thought Ned Stark was going to be beheaded, and he was beheaded. Okay? He was set up as the hero of the story. They took him out early. Cool. You should not be fooled. All of that planning is just to do what? to show later on when the plan is upset, we start scratching our heads as, well, what are they going to do now? I'm not scratching my head because I knew it was never going to happen in the first place. And we all saw later on, it's not going to happen.
I agree. We saw it wasn't going to happen. But I think it's important to see what's the plans that they laid out. Not everything, some things work and some things don't. As we can see, we didn't see this episode, but we saw the fact that Sully were going to capture Lee Rock.
I think your approach to the story is different than mine. I approach the story not just as a viewer, but also as someone who writes. And the viewer in me can be entertained by certain things, but the writer in me won't be. The writer in me wants to see good writing, good structure, a story that's being pushed along, not an overemphasis on characterization or plot, but enough, to make the story go. And I look at some of these things, I was like, okay, waste of time. And it just shows me you don't have any story to tell. And this is supposed to be a shortened season. So at the end of it, I would like to feel, okay, great. This was good. This was very fulfilling for all the time that I put into it. I'm looking here right now and saying you don't have any story to tell, or you have too many characters to tell the story that you need to tell. And that was a part of it. All that planning, I'm like, what for? It's not going to work. None of these plans ever work. Who was the last big plan that we saw? That was Marjorie. Marjorie had that big plan, everything of that nature. Cersei was supposed to be taken down, and then out of nowhere, what does she find? She finds the method to blow the whole place up, which was a load of malarkey, but I've already known. None of these plans ever come to fruition. So I'm sitting here listening to it like, yeah, okay, great, yeah, sure, dig it. Right, yeah, it's not going to work.
Good point. I see your point. Not to agree with it, but I see your point. Moving on, Cersei. Cersei's man, Euron does the Jew. Let's just get to the nitty-gritty. Before that, Cersei meets up with a new ally. And who is it? Sam Tarly's papa, basically. The leader, the man who basically forced Sam out of his home, forced him into a Night's Watch because he didn't think he was martial enough, and made his younger son, Sam's younger brother, basically his heir. And here he is in King's Landing listening to Jaime and Cersei say that you're not going to let foreign invaders take over. And Jaime offers him basically the position of Warden of the South, basically knocking off Olenna of Highgarden, of House Tyrell. Knocking off Olenna. So you're like, whoa. Like you said, we know something like this is going to happen. It's been foreshadowed for quite a while, but it's still good to see when you have Sam's father actually listening. He doesn't actually commit, but he listens to this, and that's something in and of itself.
Waste of time. Better sequence, Sam, okay, curing, remind me the name of this character again.
Jorah.
Yeah, Sam curing Jorah. Because we saw a little bit of him in episode 1, and now we see how bad his affliction has grown. And what was the last charge he had received from Daenerys was to cure himself. And we know this guy is so totally devoted to her that has to happen. He'll probably end up dead, but at the least he'll find some way to cure himself so he can come back and be in the final battle. And he has been a very good character, okay, very good character. From stem to stern, his story has moved further along, and he still has a little bit more to go. So Sam has come in and played a very good role in finding information without feeling too Duet Machina about it. He's found this information. He's put this on the John. He sees this guy over here. He's like, wait a minute, I think there's a possibility of me being able to cure you. And I like that scene because you've got, you have Sam who says, look, I've never done this before. And Jorah's like, well, look, this is my last chance. And he's like, okay, not only is I don't know what I'm doing, but you're going to have to bite down on this, and you can't make any noise. Okay,
yeah.
You hurt like hell, and you're going to have to be able to take this, because if not, it's going to, we're going to get found out, and they're not going to let me try to cure you. So, one, I loved it because it really speaks to both of their characters. With Sam is this guy who's like, okay, he has a lot to offer. He has so much to offer, okay, in terms of what he can bring to the table, and it's still coming forward. And then Jorah is just, man, he's just tough as nails at the end of the day. I love that sequence where he's just looking at him, and Sam is like, hey, can you still go on? He's like, look, what am I going to do now? I've gone this far. And then that last bit of where it diverts to the pie, which was utterly disgusting.
Oh, yeah, and that's how they move on to Arya and hot pot. Yeah, it is disgusting.
But
they want to freak us out.
So but that's good storytelling right over here because we don't know how he's going to cure. We don't know how he's going to cure him. So okay, he ends up there, meets Sam. Sam is willing to do this because he knows him through this relation. Has the book. See, this is going to go on. Okay, that was a good sequence. So we don't need to see the whole thing. We understand this is going to be a painful process, but more than likely he's going to be able to be cured. We understand it, and that part of his story is going to be resolved. And he still has a bit more. And he still has a bit more to go. I would love to have more sequences like that, than where there's some action. Okay, and if you're not going to act, if there's not going to be some actual doings going on, then the dialogue has to be the action. And a lot of times the dialogue is just like, okay, great, that was cool, but I'm not a teenage girl who can be befuddled by some sweet talk. I want the meat and potatoes. I want something real.
What? Teenage? In that case, bro. But I see your point.
What, that brought back memories for you, eh, Big Business? Yeah.
No, it did not bring back memories.
That's why he's great. People of America. I know you can't see him, but he's smiling right now. He's smiling.
Go on, man. Go on. I don't know what to make of that.
Those right over there. That right there, good sequence. Then of course we have our twist. You know, what's Game of Thrones without the twist? And that was the ship battle. They get attacked. There's a sneak attack and a night attack. We know they're not going to win. So, but what happened? They took out the girls. Those serpent girls.
Yeah, the sand snakes.
Yeah, the sand snakes. They took out the girls. I was very unhappy about that because the girls were hot, and you know they were always cool to watch. But I was surprised that they took them out that easily. I thought they would like go down fighting a lot harder because they had been some of the better fighters on the show. Very free moving, fast, quick, and they're assassins. So they're not going to be one of the problems I always have is that like a wrestler doesn't fight the same way as a boxer, and a boxer doesn't fight the same way as a karateka. So an assassin is not going to fight the same way as these guys. And I would have thought they would have done stuff like, I'm going to cripple this dude, I'm going to take out a hamstring, everything's going to be like a throat hit, and then a lot of it just becomes this flowery movement, and it doesn't go on. So I was disappointed in how they got taken out. And then again, it's not like you can't say you didn't see it coming. You know, it's not like you can't say you did not see it coming. So, you know, what's going to happen? Well, we know one of them is going to die because, you know, hey, Cersei's going to have vengeance for her dead daughter, right? So we know that's going to, we see that one coming, and we just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with Theon's sister, and Theon is just so pathetic at this point. I really hope there's some sort of redemption for his character. He's really had it rough, and the imbalance with him, this guy he was a betrayer, okay? So, hey, he's paid for his betrayal. But in terms of his character, it's like either you're going to do something with him or just kill him or just leave him alone, because just to show how befuddled he's become, or maybe not so much befuddled, but broken without any hope of restoration. Well, do we need to keep seeing this? Do we need to keep reminding ourselves that every time we see Theon, what are we consistently reminded of? The fact that he was,
broken.
You know, not broken so much, you know, the fact that well, there's no other way to say it, that he's cockless. That's what the guy calls him. Every time he sees him, like, hey, Theon, the cockless, you cockless coward.
That's what you focus on, that he wasn't broken by
we're consistently reminded. We're consistently reminded of that more so than any psychological damage. We're reminded of that physical damage that happened to Theon. It's every time we see him, we're reminded of it. You know, even when they come over and his sister is getting ready to make out she's getting ready to do some making out right in front of him. Theon can't do that anymore. The woman comes over here and is like, here, fill my cup for me. Like they
weren't sure it can be done. So, right? They weren't sure it can be done.
No, you didn't want to talk about that. So unless you want to talk about it, I suggest you leave it alone because it doesn't make any sense. So,
well, I'm just saying
we're consistently reminded that Theon is no longer a man. Okay, we're consistently reminded of it. Every time he's on screen, we're reminded of it. So what they are saying is that, hey, you lose that part of yourself, you're no longer a man, unless you're going to show something different. So it's one thing, if you want to show psychological breaking, then you have to do that. But it's the physical stuff that keeps being reminded with Theon. So, he's just sitting there in the water. We have no idea. If there's some redemption for this character, cool. If not, just kill him and get it over with. He doesn't have to be redeemed. He doesn't have to be either. Just resolve the situation with this character, because you keep showing him just to remind us that he was emasculated.
Well, I kind of disagree. I think, and this is with a lot of the characters, a lot of the minor characters that you don't think are going to be worthy. I think that at the very end of the day, the end of the story, people have to survive, and the question is, who are the survivors? And I think that Tyrion's definitely going to be one of the survivors. So it's very important to see the arc that he has to go through. Yes, right now, the very beginning, he was a boastful, proud young guy, proud of his powers, in the bed and out of the bed. And the very fact that as a Iron Man, Ironborn, that was taken away from him. And then the fact that now he's still going through the psychological as well as the physical issues of that. But at the very end, when this whole thing is said and done, when the White Walkers are destroyed, somebody has to rule the Iron Islands. And so no other character have we seen come through who represents the Iron Islands other than his sister, Euron, and him. And of course, Euron wouldn't do it, and his sister has now been effectively taken. And we don't know what's going to happen with her now, but my assumption is Cersei's not going to be nice and easy. So we see that the only possible person left is going to be Theon. Unless they decide to kill everybody and call it a day and reorganize the kingdom, I think a lot of these minor characters that you poo-poo, like even Sam, for example, may end up the head of the Tyrells, the head of Highgarden, for all we know. Unless his brother survives. I don't know for sure. I can't say yes or no, but I think that this is what they're there for. These are going to be the survivors. As in every battle, there's somebody who survives and someone who has to rebuild. And the ones that are left are the ones that they become almost as important as the ones who died. So the people who lay down their lives to win the course, you have to have someone else who's going to build it, or else it's going to be torn down. It was all for nothing, right?
I suppose so.
I suppose so. All right. Lastly, going on to, the sea battle to me is one of the biggest things. But one of the problems I had, one of my major criticisms, is that it was just so dark and so much stuff going on. I couldn't clearly make out, Euron's ships versus his niece's ship. It's like, who's who? They all look the same. So all you saw was battle. I like the fact that they caught him, but who's who? And how the hell did the Unsullied get away? I thought the Unsullied were with them or something like that. Remember? They're going all the way to Casterly Rock to break in, and yet somehow the Unsullied weren't there. It was only Yara and Theon. They were going south to go get the Dornishmen and Highgarden and come back up north. And he just purposely he wasn't wait for them and got them clearly. But what happened to the Unsullied? Why not knock those guys off? You're the king of all seas.
Because we need them at the final battle, so they're not going to be taken out now. That's why.
Okay.
Look, somebody had to get it, and these guys are the most expendable. Their stories are done, so we can get rid of them.
So overall, what is your take on the episode?
It's the same as the first. It's a 3. It's not very well balanced. There's still stuff that needs to be done, and I can't say Game of Thrones in terms of story writing is playing the long game. It's just long. At the end of the day, it's just long, and it's weighed down by a lot of characters. But hey, it's coming to a close. Eventually, here's the fun thing that's going to happen: enough characters are going to die that we're going to get some really good stories.
Well, remember, one of the problems they had with this whole show is that the executive producers got ahead of the writers. The writer, unfortunately, and I don't knock him for that. You write when you feel you're ready to write. This is your own creation. But
what are you talking about? He's not writing anymore. He's just cashing checks.
Yeah, he's cashing checks. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying the fact of the matter is that he hasn't been able to write. It's his vision, and they have to play in his world, no one else.
No. I refuse to let you apologize to this guy. It's not that he can't write. He doesn't need to. He's got too much money. He can't find his pen anymore because his pockets are filled with money.
His pockets are filled with money. Well, he made money on book, and he made a lot more money off of the series. So yeah, I got no shame in that, bro. I got no shame.
I have no problem either. Make your money. You know, I understand making money as a writer, making money in any entertainment endeavor is not easy. So you make your money, make your money. I have no problem with that. But he ceded his story to these guys a long time ago. A long time ago. This is the first time I've ever heard of anything like this either, where the story, I mean, it's not the first time that a story from a book has been brought to the screen, but usually either that story is complete, okay, or the writer is wrapping it up because it's still his or her story. This guy's just like, hey, you know, this is how the story ends. You know, get there when you get there and make certain the checks are in my name.
I think he's trying. Hey, some people, that's just how they work, man. We can't knock it, and I'm okay with him doing this. So, hey, Dana, the executive producers, this is their vision of it. Hey, it's okay. I bet you in probably 10, 15 years we're going to get another one with a complete story with probably not, because we probably only can finish with one more book. Or someone will finish the whole series through. So it's going to be fine. We just need to give it some time.
If he does, it'll be great, because it'll be the first time I see a book come out after the story is complete somewhere else.
I have a strong feeling that
it'll be like the novel adaptation of his own story. It'll be incredibly bad, but hey.
What do you mean? It's going to be incredibly good, but it's going to be totally divergent from what we're seeing now. That's what I think.
No, incredibly bad, and to the point it's your story, and you let them take it away from you because you got paid.
No,
I'm telling you, 7 years time, you couldn't finish this story?
He couldn't. He couldn't do it.
Because you did not want to.
I disagree. Look, if you were looking at, I've been reading his books for years. When he first came out, I read the books, and every time the more the books got bigger and longer, and took him even longer to finish it. So, you know, this has happened before the series even came out. Theoretically, when he started the series, he was almost like 3 books down, and yet still he couldn't get this thing. 3 or 4 books down, and he still couldn't get it out. He figured, hey, I have more than enough time.
No, he figured, hey, I'm getting money. They had told him, look, you need to finish this story so we can keep this going on. I'm pretty certain he would have finished the story. They said, no, can we finish the story? He was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. All right, so he's at home right now. He's probably got a glass of cognac, and he's listening to the music. Getting paid.
You are a nutcase, man. Crazy. So overall, we like the episode. I'm giving it a 4.5. You know, 4 out of 5, basically.
We don't do 0.5s. It's just a whole number.
All right, so we'll do a whole number for those who can't read. So I say it's a 5.
All right, so I'm going to give it a 2.
Then, what? Why the hell are you giving it that? You just said a 3 before.
Yeah, that way it'll be a 3 at the end of the day. I'll let you boost this up. This is nowhere. You give it a reasonable thing, I'll give it a 3. This is not a 5.
All right. I'm not even going to fight you on that. Well, let me close it out. Spinner, thank you, everybody, for showing up. We appreciate you. I hope you liked our review. Like, comment. So if there's anything you want to say, comment. Positive or negative. Here's me. Spinner out. Later.
Catch you later, Keeble.